Hello friends, I'm not Rennie and this is not a YouTube channel, and today I'm going to get into some heavy ethics stuff, so if you're not down for that, just go ahead and click away and I'll see you guys next time. But for the rest of you, I'm going to be going over what it means to be a good person, both ethically and religiously and just societally kind of thing. I've broken this video into 3 parts. This first part is going to be the secondary research, which is talking about all of the philosophers and stuff. The second part is going to be all of the primary research I did, which is the surveys and asking all of the people around town what they think. And then the third part is going to be my own personal thoughts and beliefs. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to be looking off of all of my notes and stuff that I did because I do want to make sure that I'm actually saying what I think that I'm saying. So first up, we're going to look at ethics and egoism, and we're going to look at psychological egoism first. Psychological egoism states that any and all actions we do are for personal gain, even if we believe that they're for selfless purposes. So, in other words, people are always self-centered no matter what, even if they don't realize it. Ethical egoism, on the other hand, states that it is our duty to act for personal benefit, and it will make society better. Bernard Mandeville used the example of a beehive to show that individuals working for their own personal gain makes a better functioning society and adds to the general happiness of everyone. So to sum up those two, psychological egoism is all about immediate gratification, so getting what you want as soon as you want it, while ethical egoism is all about getting the most gratification you can over the long period of time. Both theories discuss just acting on self-interest and doing what you can to make you happy. On the other hand, we have the theory of altruism, which is pretty much the exact opposite. Altruism is the theory that people act on a sense of duty for the benefit of others, regardless of what is best for themselves. So that means doing what is best for everyone else, even if you hurt yourself in the process. An example of this given in my ethics class is the clarion. Crows fly in groups called murders, everybody knows that. But did you know that there is one that it acts as a scout called the clarion, which flies on ahead to find danger. If there is danger, it'll scream back to the rest of the group to warn them of it, even if they end up dying in the process. Another less extreme version of this is given by the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, is how when driving through a school zone or next to a park or an area just with a lot of children, we'll drive slower to guarantee that nobody gets hurt. So, egoism, selfish. Altruism, selfless. So now let's look at the theories of morality. Morality, by definition, is being able to tell the difference between what is good and what is bad. One theory about morality is the absolute good theory, which states that X is good always, regardless of the situation. An example of this would be Immanuel Kant and his theory about truth. He said, truth is good always, regardless of the situation, so no matter what, you should never, ever lie. However, Aristotle believed that too much of anything can be a bad thing, and he came up with the golden mean. And what the golden mean is saying is just that the best way to live is that middle ground between the two extremes. In my Intro to Mass Media class, our professor gave us the example of giving money to charity. Giving too much to charity makes you seem extravagant, while not giving enough to charity makes you seem really, really stingy. So let's move on to religious standpoints on what is a good person. The divine command theory, also known as theological voluntarism, says that any moral good or bad is predetermined by whatever God you believe in. So, Plato brings up the Euthyphro dilemma that says, X is holy because God loves X, but what happens if God stops loving X? Is it still good? I don't know if anyone ever came up with any real, reasonable rebuff to that, but if you have any thoughts on that, let me know in the comments. So let's just look at some groups that believe people are good, and let's look at some other groups that believe that people are bad. Egoist Hobbesians and some religious groups believe that people are inherently bad. Like we talked about earlier, egoists believe that all people are selfish in nature, and they bring up the selfish gene strategy, which says that we're competitive to the point of self-destruction, just to gain more social goodness than someone else. Thomas Hobbes wrote in Leviathan that the competitiveness and ambition of human nature paired with the limited goods makes for a very capitalist society. An example of this would be musical chairs, which is a game for those of you that don't know, that a lot of little children play. You play the music, you run around the chairs, and as soon as the music stops, you gotta sit down. There's always one less chair than there is people running around, so someone has to lose. The quiet kids usually fall victim to the more aggressive ones really quickly. Not everyone can win, not everything is always fair. Some religious groups, such as Catholics and other brands of Christianity, believe that we are all born with original sin, and to get rid of this sin, you have to be baptized. Because if you die without being baptized, you will go to hell, even if you are an infant. It does not matter. That is why they're very keen on getting you baptized as soon as possible. So let's move on to some of the groups that believe that people are inherently good. Altruist blocks and other religious groups think that people are good. Altruists, like we discussed earlier, believe that people act on a sense of duty rather than in the self-interest. John Locke contradicts Hobbes by saying that people are born good but do bad things. He believed that we are all cooperative and act in self-defense. And as for religious groups, a bunch of them believe that people choose to be good or bad, and those include Hinduism, Sikhism, Judaism, and a few branches of the Christian religions. Baha'i and Islam believe that there is no evil, just a lack of good. And finally, Buddhism believes there is no such thing as good or evil. Now we're going to move on to the primary research I did. So I asked a bunch of the community members, are people good or are people bad? And here is what they said. 5 of the 18 people that I asked, so about 27%, said that good and bad are subjective to each individual person. 2 of the 18, so 11%, said that good and bad are a choice that we make. 5 of the 18, so again 27%, said that we are good but make bad choices, like Locke. 3 of 18, or 16%, said that we are bad to do good things, and the final 3 of 18 said that we are bad, period. Let's look at all these from another angle. 11 of the 18, so 62%, said that we are born either good or bad, while the other 7 said that we either choose to be good or bad, or there is no good and bad. Of those 11, 6 of them, so 55%, said that people are born bad, while the other 5 said that people are born good. And of the 7 that said that we either choose or you're neither good or bad, 5 said that they're subjective, and 2 said it was a choice. I know that having such a small group for the survey can lead to some flaws, so I'm just going to leave you with these numbers, draw from it what you will. So we're going to move on now to what I think. What makes a person good? Well, throughout all my research and asking all of these people, I've kind of decided that I also believe the good and bad are subjective. What I think is good could be different from what you think is good, could be different from what they think is good, could be different from anything, and there's no way to really prove that one of us is more correct than the other. I didn't really do all of this research to try and convince you that I'm a good person, nor did I do it to try and convince you that one theory is more correct than the other. I did it so that I could present you with enough information and sources to draw your own conclusions and think for yourself and decide what you believe makes someone good or bad, rather than just listening to what other people tell you to believe. So if you enjoyed this, be sure to give me a like, and if you have anything you would like to share, or if you think I missed anything, let me know in the comments down below. But I will see you guys next time. Bye, friends!
Oh.